Sometimes, in the most ordinary moments of everyday life, suddenly, out of nowhere, you get inspiration for a new painting. It is not always necessary to wait for a big, groundbreaking idea to create art. In my case, most ideas for new paintings suddenly emerge during daily activities, as in this case. I felt like eating hard-boiled eggs, and while preparing, I really liked the sight in front of me. As with any painting, even if the subject is so simple, there is still a need for planning, sketching, composition, and breaking down the painting process into stages, which create a kind of order and make the painting process much easier. I always prefer to give the canvas I'm painting on a gentle wash of color, usually using a very thin layer of burnt umber, just to neutralize the white of the canvas. I have had a hard time painting on a white surface. It blinds me and makes it difficult for me to judge color values, contrast, and accuracy in mixing colors. If the surface is white, it is also difficult for me to judge the brightness and darkness of my colors, because the white in the background will always be brighter than the brightest whites in my painting. I always start the painting process by trying to cover the entire canvas with color as quickly as possible, leaving no areas untouched. I do not initially focus on achieving maximum color and shape. That always comes later in the painting process. The initial stage is always an attempt to capture the areas of the dominant colors, neither the brightest nor the darkest. I find myself constantly squinting and blurring my gaze to capture the average hue in each area of the painting. There is no need to delve into the details and subtleties of this oil painting in the initial stage. I just need to quickly cover the entire painting with colors that are a little darker than what my eyes see. This will help me a lot in the later stage in correcting, brightening, and darkening as I please, without limiting myself for the beginning of the painting process. I always like to leave myself as many options as possible for changes later on. In the next stage of this oil painting, I start to pay more attention to different areas of the painting, constantly asking myself, is this area correct in terms of darkness and brightness? Is the hue correct? Does it look sharp in reality or blurry? What is the brightest point I want in this painting? And where should I darken the most to create a more interesting contrast? This is the stage that usually takes the longest in any painting. Because you really have to pay attention to subtleties and small differences. Sometimes the differences in tones, in the warmth or coldness of the color between one place in the painting and the place right next to it can make the difference between a convincing and strong painting and a painting that seems not done enough. Only in the final stage of the painting, where I start to breathe a sigh of relief, where I start to dance with joy all over the canvas, jumping from one detail to another, the game of creating the small details begin, such as texture, subtleties, miniature details, and corrections of tones, sometimes using really thin and transparent layers of diluted paint. I always leave the brightest colors for last. That way, I can create point of attraction for the viewer who looks at the finished painting. And it is also an opportunity to strengthen the sense of depth and three-dimensionality in the painting. In conclusion, don't let thoughts prevent you from painting. Don't think too much. Take the most ordinary things around you and make them an excuse for your new and lovely painting. Keep painting. Enjoy every moment with the brush in your hand. Until next time, I wish you health, love, happiness, and success.